All right, here we go. So I've talked about it a couple of times, but I think today I'm going to try and actually get this Jetson TX1. Pretty sure that's what I have. That's what I've been calling it. Yep, that's what it is. Looks like this on the official. It's one of the older dev kits for the Jetson, but had it kicking around for a while and mind actually using it a little bit. So it's got its base image on it that I've already updated. I threw a VNC server on it. I'm probably going to end up stripping away like half of the UI stuff, but that's going to depend on a lot. But basically the point is I'm going to get it added into the cluster and hopefully see if I can't push a video-based, well, GPU-based, not video-based, GPU-based project through it at some point. See what happens. First thing, though, is a while back I was having an issue with the DHCP server on the labs side of my network, just not forwarding via Unify for whatever reason. I went through and factory reset my USG, and for about 10 minutes it was forwarding the DHCP requests, and then it stopped again. So it's definitely something in the USG that's acting funky, and I've got to track it down. I seem to remember I've run into this issue after an update before, where there's a configuration file directory somewhere that just has a flag set on some random INI file. But we'll see. That's a bridge for a different day, a bridge to burn on another day. So for now, I'm kind of fighting with how to set up a static IP on this guy. Right now it's connected via Wi-Fi to my non-lab network, and then it's got a wired connection into the lab side of things. So what I'm working on right now is getting the lab side Ethernet cable to have a static IP, and in typical fashion for me, it's not doing it the way that it's supposed to be doing it. I was hoping that I can just get a VNC installed and see if I can't set it using the GUI and see where it sets it. It's based off of Ubuntu 18, so it should work like standard Ubuntu 18, but it is an Nvidia image at the end of the day, and it apparently already has Docker installed, which is fun. But it is a base image, and see, it's ETH0 is up, but it's not giving me the IP that I've requested. So I'm trying to install Tight VNC at the moment. Let's make it temp password 1, truncated to a length of 8. So temp pass. No. Unable to connect. All right, we're going to call you TX-1. Protocol is I guess just VNC. TX-1, password is temp pass. Use server. Save and connect. Okay. Is there anything in the log? Oh, well, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Open file. Okay, then. Well, let me make sure it didn't already do that. Does not appear. All right. Try again. And anything new in the log? Can't open file. What do you mean? Is that because it's running as a different user? Let's see what we got. Oops. Okay, so it's running. Oh, you know what? Yeah, isn't it just UFW? Okay, nope, not installed. Oof, I don't even know if I should be qualified to do this because where my brain's at right now. Let's just try it again. I think I'm running GNOME. Oops. Puppet, Xorg, I mean... What's that? Network D dispatcher. Is that something that needs to change? No. I need to figure out about this. I don't remember Container D being part of it. But that will make the integration a little easier, won't it? Alright, so we want tight VNC with GNOME. Ubuntu 18. How to make VNC server work without XFC. session. So this is all in the VNC settings. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff running that is not going to stay running. I wonder if it's got something already installed. TX1 VNC. It wants Vino. Oh, interesting. Okay, then. So let's see what this is all on about. Oh, so yeah, it is already installed. Cool. Or at least it should be. We'll see what happens. Set required. Wow, they want me to by default set no password and no encryption. Okay, we're gonna do it just to get the connection, but this won't be how we interact with it in the future anyway. On the plus side, they definitely have pretty direct instructions. Let's see what we get. I renamed this without realizing. Let's see what I did. Oh, it just rebooted and turned on my TV. Servers, DHCP. Okay. And into TXDev1 on that side, and it's... Oh. Interesting. Huh. No problem. Need to get rid of that password requirement too. It's funny, it says that it's been minimized, but it is definitely a full OS that you log into. So, all right. Anyway, you. Dang it! Did I do this again? Yes. Let's edit. Because it's not going to get to the 10.2, and I think it was just the password. Let's make sure. Yep, the password. Sweet. Well, that was way easier. Maybe. Another user is controlling your desktop. Yes, we're aware. Two years ago, Jeeb. Alright. Yeah. What you mean disconnected? Manual 10.2.100.16 24 10.2 oops .2.100.1 10.1.24. Jeez. 10.1.24.2 10.1.24.20 in and dev. All right, now I'm curious where it's actually going to save this. And I'm going to turn this off. More than likely. But if we go back over here. Okay, now it saved it. But now let's figure out. It's got to be an ect, right? So I gotta grep it. .2.100.16. All right. Wow. Under here, huh? Oops. Huh. Did not see that coming. I guess I should have. All right, so now let me get out of here, and I'm gonna go to that IP and make sure that it works. Yes. Much faster, much gooder. All right. This sucks, but I gotta go check on something. Be right back. All right, and we're back. So we've got it connected. We've got a static IP. Doesn't fix some issues, but at least we're in. And yes, that is still, to me, a weird place to keep that, but whatever. So next step is going to be installing it as a worker node. And it looks like it's already got Docker on it, which I'm not sure when that happened, but okay. Step one, though, is going to be installing. Not going to build from source. No, I should probably mention this is what I'm working off of. Hey, M Asylum. Yeah, Homelab stuff. At the moment, just trying to get a TX1 folded into my Kubernetes cluster. I've been meaning to do it so I can try and push some light AI stuff through it. And honestly, it's better than it just collecting dust, right? That's not what I want. Thanks for stopping by the way. Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Agree 100%. We need more. We need to see what other people are doing in their home labs, just because it's interesting. I mean, I'm constantly poking around on the subreddit, the Homelab subreddit, and seeing just some cool stuff, and seeing the choices that people make, why they make them. It's cool. I mean, a lot of people are just, oh, well, I do this at work, so this is what I do at home. But, you know, you just got to make, your different choices at home. I mean, I'm in California, so I'm paying far too much for electricity. So I had to downscale from real servers to, as small as possible that'll still get the job done. What's your home lab look like? Or are you just more interested in seeing others? I was saying that what happened with me is I just had a lot of friends that said that they'd be interested in seeing what I do. They're not really. They want to see the end product, but I mean, what I do is basically I'm sitting here for an hour or two every day anyway, so okay, I need to add a little bit of production value, but I'm sitting here anyway. I'm already hacking away at it. Yes, unfortunately, because I'm streaming and I'm doing it live, people are going to see me screw up, and they do. There we go. We need this guy. I had a couple 720s, but that was before I had solar, so that was terrible. I do have solar now as well. Yeah, I don't think I have anything disabled. I don't know that I could legally show a pic of mine. It is a mess. I haven't even installed curl. Let me pop that up real quick. Come on. Sorry, I don't have my stream manager open. Yeah, oh yeah, I hear you. Ooh. Nice. Drag that over. Why is there a dot in my... What are you? I definitely have a window in my screen that I'm not expecting. Where are you? Oh, you're at the bottom of my... Okay, I know what that is. Dumb. It's a scroll bar. At the bottom of my chat window. Yeah, that looks pretty sweet right there. I mean, I've got... I had cable management. I keep looking over there because it's right here. It's a stack of Mac Minis with a Raspberry Pi and now a TX sitting next to it. I've got a Cisco. I've got a couple of Cisco devices there. I'm only using a switch at the moment. And then I have my my test gaming machine sitting on top of it, which is basically just an ATX motherboard sitting in a Bitcoin mining case, so everything's exposed and hanging out. But that's pretty nice. I like the the duct there, the sweeping. And I have a Unify USG that decided to stop forwarding DHCP relay requests. Haven't figured out why, but when I factory reset it and then re-grabbed it, it relayed the packets for about 10 minutes and then stopped again. I feel like I've dealt with it before, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, Pies work fine for it. I mean, you're looking at a lighter load, right? So there's less that you can do with it, less-ish. Wondering why my chat window's looking so stupid. Let me hide that real quick because it's not doing anyone any good. Oops, on the wrong window. Yeah, just putting a line across my head. That's another thing I'm working on. My own bot. But I'm a terrible programmer. Alright, now we got curl. You'd be surprised, actually. I mean, especially, well, maybe not the old Pi Bs, but, well, hey, to some extent it is prod. What was it I read? It's, I regret mixing home dev with home prod, but at least all of my PRs are approved by my goldfish. May as well do the right thing and validate that we got the right thing. Sweet. Have you ever played any of the Shadowrun games? This music, I feel like, is pulled straight out of it. Sort of. I was doing I was doing technology research, actually, for the longest time, so less actual doing and more just reading. But, yeah, for the most part, that's what I do. You saying? Sweet. What's funny is during the time that I was doing the most intensive building, actually working directly on hardware, it was OpenStack that I was dealing with. Wait, why did I do that? I've already done that. Oh, this is if I want to do... Ooh, I do kind of want to do that rather than... Classic version. Okay, not worried about that though. Oh yeah, it's terrible. I've actually been looking for full-time gainful employment for a little over a year and a half now. Which is probably why I have enough time to do this, right? This is where I'm going to have to copy my stuff over. That's what I want. You're at work right now. So what's your tech focus, would you say? Are you one of the used to do Windows, now do Azure types, or used to do Linux and now do Google and Amazon Web Services? Or one of the lucky few that still gets to put hands on hardware? Container D should already be there. I'm going to use Kubiadmin. Oh, great. I get to do this anyway. Fine. Unsafe ownership. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so that's not the issue. Oh, I bet I don't have the apt keyrings folder. Right. Yeah. I actually love, I'm one of the few that likes working with printers. There's no other piece of technology that you have to make a pile of parts as often as printers. There's just something visceral about pulling all those pieces out and making a pile of just stuff everywhere. Now, the times that I have to go to a friend or someone, a business that I'm assisting for money and fix a printer, no thank you. But when I was on the corporate dime, heck yeah, I loved those printers. Okay. Update. We just really need. Oh, we need Kubelet too. Oh, geez. I've only done the first half. I also need. So I'm definitely thinking about renaming my channel to Attention to Detail. Well, for the most part, I've already called it Attention to Detail because it's a funny jab at the fact that I always do typos and always miss a step. Yeah, so normally, let me do this. Most of my devices, I use an emoji in the in the name, so it shows up pretty obviously which one I'm currently on. I've found that just helps me quite a bit, but I haven't done that yet on this one, obviously. But yeah, you're definitely not wrong. There's something to be said about. I mean, what would be the best thing to do is probably put an overlay on that just shows up in maybe this area, like this is the machine that I'm on, and maybe a diagram that just highlights it. I could probably have the bot do that, really. But yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about nobody else really doing this. Get to set your own rules, I guess. But I hadn't even thought of that. I may use that. That one's an entertaining one. I haven't actually completed it, but I've done quite a bit of studying for it just because, honestly, I wanted to. And most of the stuff in iOS it's so easy when you think about the way that iOS was built. Like, they were really trying to make it a conversational command line before that was really a thing. But if you give me multiple choice with any iOS questions, I can probably answer the majority of them, which is basically the same as tab completing a test in my mind. Let's do this too, even though we already installed it. CRI tools, but it is not installable. What? Oh, this might. I hope I don't have to do a full distribution upgrade. That would be pleasant. Yeah, individual concepts, fairly straightforward, but yeah, as soon as they start getting into the proprietary network protocols and how they advertise their packets and in what order, I'm just like, really? I understand why you want me to know about it, but do I need to memorize it? I'm gonna see it on Wireshark and go, that's a proprietary Cisco, and that's as far as it's gonna go. What is giving me the problem? It'd be funny if it was just that. Nope. Okay. Following have So this is pulling from, yeah, that should be fine. Because they're just Debian base. And do something stupid like no, I definitely did that. I had to have done that, right? Nope. See? Attention to detail. Nope. That didn't fix it though. Okay. What are the requirements for CRI tools? Is not available. Oh, it's just not available on Ubuntu. What? So I guess I'm going to have to just do it manual. No packages, okay. What is the scope? What is not? Roadmap. There we go. Okay, it says it's there. Also attempts to package. Okay. But that's not CRI tools. All right. Sources stable. There's nothing in here that, okay, nothing that specifically mentions it. Why? Why would you make that so difficult? Oops. You need CRI tools of 1.3. Okay. Car walls. Sometimes it's really funny just seeing the things that are left in. I'm just curious, what is this? Car wash. Well, that's not going to help me. Micro OS. Oh. What? Nope, that's not useful at all. Let's just not follow that too much farther. I can sometimes go squirrel. Right, so this is the .o, but what about the tools? Need it to be CRI tools. Really hoping that I don't have to do a bigger upgrade than I wanted to do. CRI tools. What version of CRI tools is available? Nothing. Let's try this direction. Oh, that's so useful, Google. Guess that's what I'm doing then. Going back to what I thought I was doing. It's moving towards okay. So if you're moving towards that, you should be there. So just make a new one. So in this case, I'm actually putting, this is going to be a new worker node. So and then I'm hoping, because it's a Jetson, I can set aside a hard drive that I have on it for data and use it to do some lightweight pre-learned machine learning AI stuff. That's the hope anyway. Oops. Wait, that's not what I wanted. Right, let's... Wait, so it's not going to K8s, it's still going here. is this talking about? So I still need to grab the key. That's RPM. There we go. Software properties common. I don't have that one yet, I don't believe. I have. It's primarily for generating images, right? If I'm remembering right. Sooty. Because of course. We're just going to leave that alone for now. Sierra-O apt-get. We're going to do this guy. Valid data found. Oh, because the project path. There is such a thing as using too many environment variables. There we go. It was actually this whole thing started. Yes, this whole thing started a while back, partially because of Stable Diffusion, and partially because of text-to-speech. Those two things are things that the Stable Diffusion side of things. I was looking at. I'm no artist. I wouldn't be as into the things I'm into if I could actually draw or do anything like that. But I was looking at how to take the archives from this stuff and throw together an automatic YouTube thumbnail and just, slap it down and see how it goes. I wouldn't say I'm not artistic. I'm just not very good at it. I drew all my own tattoos. Well, except for two of them. One I had a friend draw, and the other friend drew freehand while he was doing it. But other than that, I kind of require that of myself, or did. Who knows now? I haven't had a tattoo in a couple of years at this point, but it would take me weeks to draw, and it's basically simple line art. I mean, it's kind of like programming. You spend enough time on it, you're going to figure it out, you're going to do it, but then can you recreate it? And how long is that going to take? Is it actually going to take you less time the next time? For me, that answer is nuh-uh. And I used to kind of enjoy the process. I don't anymore. So this one will pretty much be text to speech, maybe like sentiment type analysis. I mean, you can't see it, but I have a bot setting in the channel right now that is supposed to be putting the chat text here. But like I said, that just put a line over my forehead because my window auto-scrolling instead of resizing the text, which I thought I had fixed, but apparently not. And then something like stable diffusion or something along those lines to see if I can generate a usable thumbnail for anything. I mean, it'll probably be something where I start the thumbnail generating, and then by the time my next stream is starting, it might be ready. But we shall see. Yeah, this is not at all what they said. All right, we're just gonna get rid of all of this. Resend this. Cool, yeah, thanks for stopping by. I mean, half of this is just to talk to other people, right? Or at least it is for me. And suspicion, never good at work, especially in this market. And thanks for the follow. Hope to see you around again. And hope you start streaming. And we're updating again. Okay, good. Now we're back to what was the other one? Kubelet. What do you mean it's not available? Do the job. Oops. So you install that, but not tools? I wonder if it would be worthwhile. You should be ARM 64. Alright, so you are definitely there, but you're not installed. And this is definitely the controller. Okay. Of course, it doesn't need a flag. Why not? I wonder if I can just copy this. To TX. $16. Yes. Nah, if this works, I'm not gonna have any words. Oh, but I think no, I shouldn't need this. I do need kubelet though, huh? And I think that's a little bit more involved. Well, let's see. Depends on Kubernetes CNI. Package Kubernetes CNI is not available. Okay. So you're 1.28. You're saying 1.30. But I'm pretty sure I've updated this. But okay, let's do it. D/Kubernetes. Let's go to 2.8. All right. Kubernetes. Why CRI tools right there? All of the things that it says it doesn't have right there. So before I go too far, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to switch it back to 1.30 and I'm going to try and upgrade it. Wow, that is a lot. Oh, that's Ubuntu Pro. Nobody cares. I really need, well, this isn't on my Ansible script yet, so. But yeah, this needs to get added to the Ansible script, so it not only can it run updates, but it gets rid of that. Like, image magic is required. Python requires Pro. Is what's going to push me to just straight Debian or maybe even Arch. Who knows? All right. Actually curious if I go. What am I looking at here? I got 4 gigs. I'm fine. Which C group driver do I have? I guess I need to figure that out. This should all be documented somewhere. Yeah. One. That's probably System D then. So I need to edit the kubelet configuration. Where are you by default? Okay, so I just have it in here. I'm going to take this off screen real quick because I don't know what it's going to show in here. Yeah, I figured it was going to show that. Fun stuff. All right, let me clear this just in case I go back over. So I do not. Okay. Creating a cluster with, okay, bada bada, yada yada. Actually, yeah, that's going to be important. So let's go here. And we're going to disable Wi-Fi. And that's going to go bye-bye. Fun. But this one should be fine. Cool. Yep, that's what we want. Yes. You come back. I gotta edit you. Because now you'll 10.2.100.16. Save and connect. Okay, we're back. Pretty much all of this is going to go, probably. It doesn't seem to be taking up that much, though, so we'll see. A lot of we'll sees here. All right. So now we only have one IP. First one. So that's good. I got it. I've already got a control plane. So I just need 2.100. Yep. 6443. Ooh, I need to get the token again. There's a Kubi control to get that. I don't want to create it. Get token to join. Here we go. All right, so same deal, off screen. It's taking a lot longer than I want it to. Why? Oh, is it because I don't have a token? Okay, that's the deal. Remember that whole attention to detail thing I was mentioning? Step 1, generate token. Step 2. It's still not creating the join command. Why aren't you working? To see why. Okay. Let's see if this says. It's the time to life I need. Oh, timed out. There we go. TTL equals 0. You also need to specify CRI socket. That's not what I want. I do want it to expire. All right, so in theory, wait, so it says I can just join with the token? 2.100.12.6443. Discovery token. Skip. Okay. Is privileged user. User is not running as root. Next. Swap is running. I need to get rid of that. Actually, since I can just expire this token, it doesn't matter anymore. Next. Man, am I gonna have to go back to muting when I drink because I have my volume so high? I hope not. Well, not entirely true. All right, what's going on here? This is taking a long time. Down to 16. And 2.100.12. I seem to remember that this is just a matter of installing the right certificate. Actually, you know what? Since I'm here, I'm going to go squirrel for a second. That's the one I want. We're going to format you. Just be called data. Yeah, we should erase. Next. Yes. May as well kick that off. That's going to take a little while. Yeah, we're not going to be streaming at that point. That's an SSD too. Holy cow. So whilst all of this happens, where was I? Oh yeah, go away. So now we're using, before you begin, objectives. Oh yeah, swap off. I need to make that permanent. No swap. That's not helpful. But I did I have swap actually before? No, it wasn't actually a swap in place. Okay, fine. It was enabled, but that was it. So I still want to go into here. Swappiness. VM.swappiness. So if I just do VM.swappiness. So I'd rather have the out-of-memory killer. All right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. We've got the IP. That's fine. Did I already do this? All right. So there's two things I'm missing. The token cert hash and the token, because it's not giving me the join over here. Here equals 5. Why are you creating a token? Why does it fail there creating the token? But I've already generated the token. I'm going to try this token list thing. Failed to list Bootstrap. Unauthorized. That is actually possible. I hadn't thought of that. And that I don't use kubeadmin on here, like, ever. So I am just going to view to so it's going to have a problem there for the worker user, so just comment you out. And we'll try it again. There we go. Let me clear the screen. Make sure I don't accidentally come running over here with my admin token hanging out. And we'll try it again. There we go. So now, from here, right. I'm gonna move you over here just in case. All right, it says it's joined. Ah, whoa. It's doing some stuff. Oh, weird. Most of the CPU is actually being used right now by the disk manager. How fun is that? And then the Vino server, which I'm going to have to disable again. I wonder if I can just disconnect and make that an acceptable. Log off. Okay. What about this way? Oof. I mean, that's got to run either way. Well, let's see if I just close it. Now container D is taken over a little bit. That's good. I'm getting real numbers for CPU. Well, real-ish numbers for CPU. That's recognizing 4 cores. I wonder what I'm going to need to uninstall after this starts taking over. So if I want to make it so that... Oh, I need to install the Nvidia stuff still. Crud. So let's bring back my window here. We need the Nvidia is always in not ready state. So I'm already past that, but what I need is the video. There we go. So I'm going to have to modify this. K8s device plugin. Let's see what this looks like. So I have to do some installing over here. Preparing your nodes. Is the container toolkit already installed? If not, where'd you go? Why do I have 2 of you open? I guess not. Guess I maybe should have started there. Great, more of this. Okay. Cool. That I'm not worried about. And we do want you. Man, I hope I don't have to go back through the could be admin install. Oops. All right. So that's installed. It also assumes that you have configured the Nvidia container runtime. Let's get to configuring. File does not exist. Using empty. It is recommended that Docker be restarted. Okay. Well, what do you know? That's the next step here. Okay. I think it's running in rootless. Here we go. That's what I really want. Oops, did I just configuring Docker? That I'm not worried about. Okay. Restart ya. Now, what's our status? Our status is still ready. I might need to figure out why that's the case. Probably because I'm currently formatting a disk, but we'll see. Really, is that like, well, I mean, I know it got installed, but it is recommended that it be restarted. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Go away. What your deal is? Node configuration. C group true, true. C group v2 is false. Lot CPUs is false. Graph driver. Support, unable to set recursive read only. Function not implemented. Okay. That's new and exciting. But is that enough of a reason to crash? Retrieve. That command from runtime service failed. Is the kubelet running? Sure seems like it. But I am getting the RPC code here as well. Okay. Got list RPC error code. What your deal is? Was closed as not a bug because the idea that the container name should be same if passed twice. What? Okay, so that could just be it trying to start still, or it's still in process. Yeah, there we go. No schedule, no execute. Well, that could be because of what I just did. Fun. And that probably goes back to the other error message here. Let's see what this config looks like on my end. You there. Privileged without host devices. Interesting, okay. Doesn't have a metrics. That's just nano, yeah. Okay, so this is a different one. I don't want to worry about this. But I need both of these. And then we'll add metrics. Metrics are always good. Plugins.v1 CRI container D. It's got Nvidia in there. Right, not dot runtimes. Okay. I mean, it's probably a bad idea copying messages from a post saying something's not working, but privileged host false space run 2 and Nvidia container runtime. Super Homura in post number 5. From Docker to connecting to GPU, the problem I'm facing now. Let's check this. Okay, but this is all Jetpack stuff that I'm not worried about. Should I change Docker so it just runs privileged? Is that the problem? Container D. Let's try there. Right, I've already got an HTOP running. What am I doing? Really should have just done that with the command line, I think. Any changes here? You're back to ready. That's a good sign. Okay. So if you're saying you're running, you're ready when how many pods you got right now? Calico's having a problem starting. Interesting. Okay, so it's the one having the RPC code. But otherwise, everything else on TX is running. Fun. All right, to be continued. Hey, wait a minute. That's fun. Oh. Wishful thinking, I guess. Of course, I had to wait for me to actually see it and say it, right? Okay. And I am going to have to check to see how bad the me chugging on this stuff. Actually, let me do it right now. I'm going to switch headphone to monitor only. 1 second. Ooh, okay. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to start muting it when I take a drink. It's interesting that it only shows one restart. Okay, but it's giving the RPC error, which is probably because of CRI, right? But we need to figure out why CRI. Oh. All right, let's see what you say. Validating runtime config. Monitor fields translation. Failed to translate monitor fields for runtime Nvidia. Executable file not found in path. Oh, that could be fairly easy. I just have to figure out where that is. I don't think those are going to be related. No, I shouldn't do it on my spare screen. I should be doing this here. Service file change between reboots. Actually, I just need to make use of this guy. I would guess your storage is corrupted. Well, actually, I do need to make sure that this storage does not go there. That's going to need to go on the new disk. So, actually, it's a good thing to find. Okay, the disk seems to be done. All right, let's hop back over. No, you're not done. Yeah, we're aware. Next. Next. And it freezes because I said no. Done. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered erasing. But yeah, I'm going to have to push the log files over there. All kinds of fun stuff. I've got one of these guys too that might be fun. I mean, I don't think it's going in the cluster. But let's see, is that gonna, yeah, it just disappeared out. That's one of the old Intel Euclids. Basically just an Ubuntu computer vision server. Neat little buggers. My old job provided me with a lot of interesting little things that they were never going to use again. Ay, caramba. Wow, that is a useful utility, isn't it? Interesting stuff in there. I'm really thinking I'm just going to stop this and just format it without the erase. Let's see what kind of time frame we're looking at here. I also wonder how much of the Nvidia stuff requires an XORed server. Cuban. At least give me a time frame. All right, well, while that's doing that, I do wonder if this error that we're getting there we go. Failed to translate monitor fields for runtime NVIDIA. Executable file not found in path. Oops. Those going to be permission denied. Like you do. Hey, how's it going, Sabrat? It's going, as you can see. That's fun. What you been up to? Validating runtime monitor fields. Failed to translate monitor fields for runtime. Error message failed to translate. Can occur when the container name is out of order. No, it's not what I'm looking for. Let's see what you say. Oh, well. Could that be the issue? Okay, so it also assumes you have. All right, so this is where I was at. Are you even installed? I don't think this is installed. Yeah. Runtime configure container D. Okay, so let's just search for it. Add the toolkit base. So going back to here. Interesting. Let's try it. I think I'm going to have to add the 2 in there, aren't we? Yeah. Same error. Oops. Same. Let's see what this has. I mean, I feel like I did that, but we'll see. Yeah. All right, so this is what it changes. Let's go poke around in there. User bin Nvidia container runtime. Requires a minimum of one argument. CRU. Fatal message validating runtime config. Well, let's try that. Make that a CRIO. With this error. Let's go back to this one. Problem there. Let's start container runtime for OCI-CRI.O. Okay. Logger, version file, blah, API, listen. Container initiative. So run C is that. Wondering if these are linked together. Nope. So these are separate. So if I do this, your IO runtime, right? And I change you to be the other one. like that. Oh. Well. That probably isn't going to matter. Do I have? Okay, I do not. So if I include you there, it's not good control. Got a new error though. Failed to translate monitor fields. Doesn't exist. All right. Promote secondary when primary is removed. Nope. We have a really... I thought I was using the plugin. Runtime interface. So if I just do, actually, let me go over here. That's useful. Yeah, it's not installed on here. So why do the instructions there say to install it? Let's see, does that break anything here? I mean, it still claims it's running, right? Now, if I go here, because this guy had... tolerations, Nvidia comms, GPU. Let's just give this a shot. Well, I guess it's dev services. I'm just gonna call you. Dash GPU pod dot YAML. Insufficient GPUs. Okay. It's kind of what I expected. I don't think that I have put those in yet. Wonder if do I need that? No, that's Docker though. I don't want to do it in Docker. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna need that's what I need. Oh, I don't do this with Helm. Come on, man. Fine. I'd I'd rather just go through it once and then I can come back to it. Still would like to know why that one's failing, but we can come back to that as well. All false. Node feature discovery is a dependency. By default, NFT master and worker are automatically deployed by the operator. So wait, is a dependency for the operator? If NFT is already, then you have to disable. Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta clean that up a little bit, huh? Alright, we'll at least go with this. I'm going to go with just standard for now. And see if it even runs. Oof, that's a lot. Are there 3 on DevPrim 1? Timed out waiting for the condition. Well, that's fun. There we go. Come on. DevPrim, DevPrim, DevPrim. Of course, it's that poor Raspberry Pi. How's it looking? What's a chugging along? The moment I get the opportunity, that's going to become a Raspberry Pi 5. Where are you restarting? But wait, not you. You. Oh, it's oh. It hasn't sent me the success message yet. What do we see here under releases? Pending install. are these guys taking so long? I mean, I know why these guys are taking so long, but come on now. Oh, we're down to 2. One of them's running. Just have to do that 2 more times. Oops, forgot to mute you guys. Sorry. I need to get back. I need to remember this. Or move the mic farther away. Maybe that'll do it. Oh no, now we have the crashing starting. Not ideal, not ideal. What is in this deployment? I'm betting it's asking for some obscene number of... Nope. No stateful sets. Node feature discovery worker. I'm hoping this just runs and then goes away. Current number schedule is 5. Alright, match label. I'm fine with it asking for 5, but it seems like... Oh. What are you? Oof. RPC error code not found. Failed to pull unknown package. Failed to resolve. I mean, it seems like it's pushing forward into a brave new world, but holy cow, is that a lot of stuff to install? That is heavy. There's got to be something I can use to minimize that a bit more. Well, it says it deployed. I mean, kinda. Let's do a little reading while that struggles along. Two additional runtime classes. No, thank you. Startup probe. Was node feature discovery plugins as daemon set. Set this to false if NFD is already running on the cluster. Okay. So now DevMini1 is struggling through it. Feature discovery, feature discovery, feature discovery. I mean, all I really need is the operator, and the operator should only be running on the one device. This one. Well, let's go back to... Let's see what happens with this, because now I'm curious. One node had untolerated taint node. Insufficient Nvidia GPUs. So this is where I should have on here somewhere. Is this something I can modify? Because it seems like this is where it needs to be. All GPU worker nodes in the cluster. GPU worker nodes are identified by the presence of the label. Okay, so I can do that. You are the mini one. Two, three, and you. Now is this, if I go back over here, I go back to the GPU operator, am I going to start seeing things dropping off? Yes, awesome. Then I want gx1-dev1 is true. There's your function. Let's give you the old describe. Describe. GPU operator. Feature discovery. Worker. It says it's running. Crash loop back off. Great. Would you mind saying why? Such inform, so useful. Let's just get ready. We're starting over. And most of these shouldn't be running. Really? Just deleting it. That was it. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon. There we go. OCI runtime exec failed. Exec failed. Unable to start container process. Terminal will auto close. What do your logs say? Failed to read net iface attribute. Invalid argument. What? What does this mean? K8s, that doesn't help me. Before enabling the GPU add-on, somehow it's correct driver information. Okay. Hobbit plugins. How does that say Nvidia SMI in any way? Okay. Tegra stats. Trying to read that as it's scrolling by just doesn't work. Is there a way to make it look pretty? No. Fun. Do I need to try just running this nerd control thing? It already set privilege to true, right? Pre-installed. I already have the toolkit, so I don't need to worry about that. I wonder if I should just make sure. I wonder if I should do that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's burn this down. Ah, there it goes, of course. Current name, current name space, GPU operator, set driver enabled false, toolkit false. Because they should both be on there. Oh, everything went green right away. Let's just let that simmer for a little bit. And what's this say? For insufficient Nvidia.com GPU. I do feel like there's got to be something in here that's supposed to get added. Maybe it's a label? That's not true. Definitely have to have missed a step here. Nodes must be configured as a container engine or container D. The cluster uses pod security. If your cluster uses PSA. I don't think I do though. So I've got 4 true and 1 false. And I feel like that should be the other way around. That's not what I wanted. Mm. Let's just edit this and make sure that this is doing what we want it to do. Way more stuff. Toolkit is what I'm looking for. Time modes. Okay. This doesn't have toolkit at all. The name of the runtime class you'd like to associate bots launch with a runtime class equal to always run. Well, you know it's done. Let's make sure you mount to startup. Since I'm in here, that is a stopping point for today. It's possible I'll be on a little bit later playing some Shadowrun. We shall see. I've said that a lot today. We shall see. Word of the day, folks. for the time being. Hopefully we can follow this up tomorrow. It's good to already have something planned, right? Boy. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you're on the YouTube, streaming Tuesday to Friday, Pacific Standard Time. If I'm on later, earlier, or a weekend, probably playing a game. And if you watched yesterday's stream, really sorry about that. Bye.